For this episode of Film Finds, I have decided to take a look at a work by one of my favorite directors who sadly passed away on April 5th. Isao Takahata founded Studio Ghibli back in 1985 alongside Miyazaki. While Miyazaki's works largely consist of fantasies, Takahata would usually focus on the real world. Even when he dabbled in fantastical elements, he would usually tie it into reality. His final film, The Tale of the Princess Kaguya, is an odd experience in comparison. Whereas other films are set in the modern era, Kaguya takes place in a fantastical version of ancient Japan. The Tale of the Princess Kaguya is the story of a girl who is found in bamboo and raised by the woodcutter who finds her. Though starting with a moment of childhood bliss, Kaguya is quickly forced into the role of a noblewoman. Throughout, she longs for the beauty of the natural world, a desire that ultimately leads to crushing despair. The most important thread here is Kaguya's adherence to its source material. Whenever we adapt works for a modern audience, there's a tendency to try and update its morality. This movie chooses not to, creating a work that at times feels alien. This is ultimately a moral tale, but many of the morals addressed are ones we now view as archaic. As such, it is a work of surprising unpredictability. Even moments that seem like recognizable animation gags are turned on their heads. Most shocking is a scene where a man falls, the type of fall most cartoon characters easily survive unscathed. Studio Ghibli is one of the finest animation studios around, and this is absolutely one of their most stunning films on a visual level. The film goes to great lengths to capture the style of ancient art, looking much like a watercolor painting in motion. Being a work about the beauty of nature, the film features many wonderful shots of simplicity, such as flowers blooming or animals at peace. The film wants us in Kaguya's mindset, finding wonder in the world around her. The sense of motion in certain sequences is as stunning as the imagery. Perhaps the most striking is the moment where Kaguya flees her noble life, shedding her dresses as she runs through the streets. Throughout the film, the images are in perfect harmony with Kaguya's emotional state. The method in which the story mixes the fantastical with real-world issues unfolds beautifully. Kaguya is obviously magical from the opening, from aging at a rapid pace to being familiar with a song she has no reason to know. Where other Studio Ghibli films commonly use fantasy as an escape, the fantasy elements of Kaguya are instead what leads to conflict. Princess Kaguya simply doesn't belong in this world, no matter how much she loves the simple beauty of its nature. It's not just the expectations of society, but whatever magical benefactor provides for her that pushes her into attempting the life of nobility. Princess Kaguya is rarely afforded the ability to make her own decisions. Though I don't want to go into the details, as part of the purpose of this series is to convince those who haven't watched it to check it out, I do want to say that the ending of this film is jaw-dropping. There is an entirely separate force at work here than in any other film I can think of. And, being by the director of Grave of the Fireflies, you can't expect this film to pull any punches. There's not much more to say about Princess Kaguya. What makes it great is simple. Everything about it feels like a work from a time far before the invention of cinema, from its blunt storytelling to its phenomenal animation style. Though it may be difficult to relate to some of its moral statements, it makes up for it by offering us a view into a mindset that many of us have likely never considered. And unlike actual films of the past that embrace problematic morals, the fact that it truly is a modern film allows Takahata to pinpoint what we find uncomfortable and amplify it.